I read about the Maori warriors. They're the indigenous people of New Zealand, and after battle the men would get together to grieve, because they knew that they couldn't go back to the villages, they couldn't go back to their wives and children with the trauma of war. If the village was to survive, if the village was to thrive in the way that it should do, because the trauma in men closes their hearts. It means they can't love their wives and they can't love their kids. That gives birth to generations of trauma. The women need to love, be able to literally have their hearts open and be deeply present and loving with the kids in order for them to grow into healthy adults. But if the men that they're with, if their husbands are traumatized, they don't provide the safety for the women to open their hearts. That puts the women up in their head, and then they're not present with the babies, and then the babies grow. So that whole thing of men coming back from war with all that trauma and the closed hearts has that knock-on effect with the whole family. So these Maori tribes would get together and go into a lot of grief, because the grief and the sadness and the crying for all the bad things that they've seen and done would release all the trauma, open their hearts, and now they can go back to the village and they can love the families. Now, I'm not saying that men who come back from war don't love their families. However, they're underneath the trauma, and their nervous system's capabilities is just unconditional love.